Everyone you love around you's dying!
Well, everyone except Meon died in episode 4, so I'm not quite sure what Higurashi Go has planned for episode 5. Oh, no, never mind. They just started over. That's convenient. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode review of Higurashi Go. I'm Shaggy, and I'm here to lead you down this thorny path of confusion and murder. This time it's episode 5, also known as Twinanigans, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love My Friends. Immediately we are faced with a question. What is going on? At the end of the last episode, we were at the hospital with Keiichi, and now we're back in time. It was June 23rd of 1983, but now it's June 12th, 2 days after the first episode and the first arc, the Demon-Deceiving Chapter, started. So we're after the start of episode 1, but that episode also goes through June 13th, so we're in the middle? I've seen people online wondering what this means, flashing back to an earlier time, and the consensus is that it's either a literal flashback, showing us stuff that did happen during the first arc, but that we did not see, or that it's a new timeline entirely, a parallel universe or something like that. Old fans know, of course, what it is and what it all means, but we're not interested in that. We're here for surprises, and I'll say it, the perverse thrill of not knowing what's going on. Like Dr. Frankenfurter said, a mental mindfuck can be nice. Regardless of what the truth is, let's focus on what this arc, the Cotton-Deceiving Chapter, and this episode in particular, has to offer us, because it is great so far. It starts with Keiichi being woken up on the weekend by a phone call from Reina and Meon about a club event in the next city, probably Okonomiya. They ride their bikes there, rather dangerously if you ask me. They speed around the corner and I'm just thinking, what if there was a car there? Someone could get hurt. No one's wearing helmets. And at the shop, called Da Vinci, because reasons, they meet up with Rika and Sadako and a bunch of other kids. Meon explains that the store is having a gaming tournament and that their club will be using it as their battleground. Thanks to Meon rigging things, the 5 club members are all split up, so they can triumph over their individual tables and face off in the finals. Keiichi gets set up with 2 of his classmates, Tomita and Okamura, who he knows will be pushovers. An easy win for him. But he's mistaken, because they are playing the game of life, and life doesn't care if you're talented. It all comes down to luck, and Keiichi gets his ass kicked from the start. The others, however, win with ease. Meon and Sadako win because they're amazing, while Reina uses her love of all things cute to win a game of Karuta, a traditional Japanese game where a proverb is said and players have to try to grab the corresponding card. Rika, meanwhile, wins a fishing game because, as Keiichi puts it, the tables turn into a meeting of the Furude Rika fan club. And can you blame those guys? Rika's adorable. The club members come to see how Keiichi is doing and tease him for being so far behind. But when he complains about the game being based on luck and there being nothing he can do to win, Meon admonishes him. You're not even trying, she tells him. If you were trying, you would have found a way to win in the first 10 seconds. Things seem hopeless, but Keiichi manages to turn things around. By trying. Namely, by trying to exploit Tomita and Okamura's crushes on Sadako and Rika, respectively. If they throw the game, he'll win the finals, and as a penalty game, make Sadako and Rika lightly cosplay as animals and be walked by the boys. A savage abuse of power. But worse is how Keiichi turns the moment into a chance for him to look good. These youthful days of mine have been so gloomy, he tells the boys. But at the very least, I can help my younger classmates achieve their dreams. I'll make all your dreams come true. I swear! And just like that, the Devil Keiichi gains 2 minions that will follow him into even the depths of hell. And they are all going to hell, alright. With that, Keiichi wins the game. Keiichi gets stuff done, Rika says. And they move on to the finals. Or not, because Meon has to get to her part-time job. But the shop owner does give them all a present as a thanks for helping to attract customers. A penguin for Rika and monkey for Sadako, a panda for Reina that she nearly squishes into oblivion, and a nightmarish doll for Keiichi, which he clearly doesn't want. And I can't blame him, that thing is terrifying. Rika offers some advice though. As long as you're kind about it, you could give it to anyone, and they wouldn't be flustered. They'd accept it. Hearing that, Keiichi immediately gives it to Meon, which makes total sense. As the owner, her uncle Yashiro, offered Meon a big tip the next time he saw her at her job, instead of an actual gift. So now, all the girls have something cute, and Meon, despite all her posturing, gets to indulge her femininity, because she is a cute girl that enjoys being treated as such. At least in my opinion. She just acts tougher, maybe because she's the oldest of the group. The next day, Keiichi's father has taken him to Angel Mort, which he had previously visited with Oishi in the last arc. But at that time, he acted like it was his first time at the restaurant, lending credence to this being a separate timeline. Keiichi's dad is unabashedly pervy, while the girls are unabashedly bouncy, leading Keiichi to hit him with a giant paper fan he just happened to have, and his dad, in response, quoting Amuro Ray from Mobile Suit Gundam, "Viva Gundamu!" While his dad's in the bathroom, the waitress brings Keiichi his dessert, and it's Meon? She looks great, and Keiichi lets her know it. But he's wrong, she says. This isn't Meon, it's Shion, her twin sister. Yes, Meon has a twin who just so happens to work in a restaurant wearing a very embarrassing and sexy outfit. Sure, that kind of thing happens all the time. Keiichi starts to call her out on her pathetic story, but then goes along with it and apologizes to Shion for confusing her with her sister. He is a stand-up guy when he wants to be, isn't he? The next day, Keiichi is very hungry after school, having missed lunch due to a class exercise making curry going wrong when the club members turned it into a game. He moans about it before Meon leaves to go to work. Keiichi blabs about her waitressing job to Reina, which embarrasses her, so Meon says she's working at the game shop instead, and Keiichi remembers that it's Shion that works at the restaurant. Totally different people, Meon says. Right. Keiichi compliments Shion, making Meon blush like mad, and Reina is just confused. But she goes with it, saying Meon was so cute, and maybe implying that Meon has a crush on Keiichi? At home, Keiichi collapses in the doorway out of hunger, but Shion knocks on the door, having brought him food after hearing from her sister that he had missed lunch. The food is also to thank him for the doll he gave Meon, so the food is from Meon? Whatever the case, the girl in front of Keiichi is wearing a school uniform different from anything Meon's worn before. So, does Meon have a sister? And do they both have a thing for Keiichi? The next day at school, Keiichi returns the food containers to Meon in front of the entire class. Smooth, right? He praises the food and thanks Shion for it, and Meon says how thoughtful her sister is. The girls tease Meon about how nice she's being, and Sadako asks if she's got a cold, she's behaving so unlike her usual self, making Rika say that someday Sadako will come down with a cold too. So Rika and Reina both know that Meon has a crush on Keiichi? It is pretty obvious at this point. Sometime later, Meon compliments Keiichi, telling him that despite how he sometimes acts, he actually has good manners and cares about people. Keiichi thinks she's teasing him, but she says that she just wanted to point out that sometimes people are actually different than how they seem. I think what she was getting at, though, was how she may be different than how Keiichi perceives her. Rather than rough, she can really be gentle and sensitive, which Reina confirms to Keiichi out of earshot of Meon. Sometimes, people are the complete opposite of how they look, she tells him. Meon, she says, is really girly deep down. That's why she was so happy to get the doll from Keiichi, and why she was embarrassed when he saw her at the restaurant. Keiichi asks Reina if the same's true for her, that she isn't what she seems, and she asks him how he sees her. Sometimes she takes jokes a little too far, but all in all, she's caring and kind, he says. A perfect girl. She's happy to hear it, but Keiichi wonders, what if the opposite is true instead? And I think we have the answer to that from the previous arc, when caring and kind is instead suspicious and violent. After school, Meon has to head to work again, and Rika has her Watanagashi practice. Work hard, Rika, so we can see you do a hell of a dance again. Oh yeah, and Keiichi has the cotton drifting festival explained to him again. And again, it's explained that cotton from old futons are used and they drift them down the river. What an odd custom. There's no way it was always about stuffing from old beds. I wonder what it used to be about. As Meon leaves, Reina mentions that it must be hard for her to have to help out so much, what with Meon's relatives owning so many businesses. This, and Reina's remark about Meon being just a cute girl deep down, apparently make Keiichi decide to visit Meon at work at Angel Mort. But on his way inside, he knocks over the bikes of some punks, who definitely look the part. They intimidate and even threaten him, until a certain green-haired girl comes up with a threatening look that puts theirs to shame. The hoodlums start to advance on her, but then people nearby start staring them down and coming towards the hoodlums. A violent and almost zombie-like look on each of their faces. Keiichi, no doubt glad to have been saved, is also utterly baffled at the turn of events. Who are these people? Are they under Meon's sway? Is she some sort of witchy woman, able to control people? And is that even Meon? She's in yet another new outfit, but mostly it's her demeanor that's different. Something about her seems altogether separate from every other appearance. Is this actually Shion? Split personalities, costume changes, and twins? Who the hell knows? We'll get all the answers in the next startling episode of Higurashi Go, Cotton-Deceiving Chapter, Part 2. By the way, Meon was killing it throughout this entire episode. Lady was fine. I'm still shipping Reina and Keiichi, but I wouldn't mind if he got a little action with Meon too. Hell, let all three of them live in a big house together. That would be heaven. I've been Shaggy, you've been great, and Hinamizawa has been cursed for all time. Hail Oyashiro-sama, and don't forget to like and subscribe, or else that deity may just start following you around and watching you as you sleep. So if you don't want to start hearing an extra footstep every time you're alone, you know what to do. Find me on Twitter @ShaggyJeebus, and DM me your best feet pics. Because why not? I mean, I hate feet, but why not? And be sure to stay tuned for more Higurashi content. And maybe a video about Umineko if I can ever finish the manga. Stay safe, and don't ride your bicycle without a helmet. Who knows what could happen?